What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Rodeo Wagon Podcast. This week we're here with Cody Rodeo Tyler. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. Man, it has been a minute. I talked to you on the phone the other day, and that was the first time I'd really heard from you, and probably since Stu's the Mason Low bull riding.
Yeah, no, I pretty much keep to myself anymore and kind of just hide out with the cows.
Yeah, what are you doing with the cows nowadays? Now that you're done riding,
Just taking care of other people's cows.
are you
Got,
doing the same thing you were doing before with the bulls?
yeah, pretty much. Just yeah, just taking care of cows and helping the wife at the vet clinic and just checking my own cows. That's about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That's she's done that for a while, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's been out of school 8 years now.
She's
So,
probably Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I get it. I graduate in the springtime, and Kelly, she's 2 years out now.
wow.
I bet she's happy though. Like,
Oh yeah,
where
yeah,
she,
no,
and
yeah, she,
that's good work too, to be honest.
yeah. It's a lot of extra hours, but it's she enjoys most of it. So,
Yeah. Now, you're in Kansas now,
yep,
correct?
yep. Ark City, Kansas, yeah,
Okay.
or Arkansas City, Kansas.
How far is that from where you were in Oklahoma?
About an hour and a half.
Oh,
Yeah.
it really wasn't that far. I thought it was like
No,
4 hours. Huh.
no. I'm literally just on the state line. It's not very far at all.
Huh. Man, that's cool. Man, have you been watching bull riding at all? Like, have you? Well, I'm curious on that process when you quit. So when you were done, you said, "I'm done riding bulls." Like, what was that process before you even watched it, or did you watch it right there? It'd take you a minute to kind of.
I mean, I quit watching bull riding while I was riding. So like I
Yeah,
didn't
sure,
watch it.
sure. But I'm talking about afterwards. I mean, you still. I'm sure it's still every once in a while you have a little bit of an itch to.
Yeah, I watched when the team stuff first came out. I watched that just to see what it was like. It was kind of fun to watch, different.
What are your thoughts on the teams? And I only ask because a lot of the people I've had on are either competitors, or they're heavily involved in the rodeo, and so it's a different deal. But you're coming from like what's that from an outside perspective where you used to ride, so you understand the industry really well, but then like now a completely different format from when you were riding.
Oh man, the bull team thing, I don't like, never have. The rider team thing though, for me was very fun to watch. Like
Enjoyed it.
yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like I did. Like it was fun actually. It was a lot better than just watching a bull riding. Like I actually wanted to keep watching the rider series of that, and I didn't. I just got busy, and
Yeah.
bull riding's not my top priority. So
Did you ever? Could you grew up riding, right? Like you started from.
yeah, I started at like 11.
Okay. And did you get on calves or anything before then, or was that when
Nope.
you
Went to
started when you were about
steers.
11?
Yep.
How long
Yeah.
did that take before you really kind of stopped watching like on TV or whatever?
Uh,
Was it when you got into the PBR, or was it before then?
it was, I don't know. Well, probably when I got into the PBR, I quit watching it. Like it was just I didn't want
It,
to watch.
man,
And
it's so different. Once you're
it
inside
was
of it too, it's different. And I don't know. It's so funny because I don't know how much it's like changed from back in the day. Like, back when we watched in like, in 2011 or, when we were still young, like how much of that's changed on the production level to now? Because like we weren't inside of it then. I mean, I wasn't riding bulls in the PBR in 2000, 12, but
yeah.
they still had it, and they still put on a production. Like what's changed nowadays? I feel like it's gotten to be almost a reality show with the teams.
Yeah. I could definitely see that. It's
And I don't
definitely
know that it's just I don't know that it's the writing. So like I think that that they've really gone that reality side, but I don't think that has to do with the team event itself. It's more like all the little offshoots that are coming. So like I know the Missouri Thunder, they do like a little series, a little Netflix special or something like that. It's
Oh,
more of
see, I
those.
didn't know about that.
There's a bunch of those that have been popping up, and I don't know that I would get behind all of that. Even as a writer, like if you had to deal with that every single weekend, like knowing that
Oh,
everything you do or say is probably going to be twisted to fit into some freaking reality TV show.
yeah. Trust me, you remember when I had to carry that camera around with me and we filmed everything for a little while?
Yeah.
That was terrible for me. And like, I don't know how I got. They just like, here, you're carrying this camera for a few weeks. Like, film everything you want. Okay. Like,
I
I don't
do.
know how they chose me, but I
Um,
should know.
that would have been in 2017.
Oh, something like
I
that.
think it was 2017. I forgot you did that. They did that for a minute. Who else did that? There's a few guys I think that they.
Yeah, I really wish I would.
I
Like,
didn't. Did they even ever do anything with it?
I mean, they did a couple like episodes or something. I don't know. My dad's watched. I've never watched it. My dad's watched it, and he tells me about it when it comes on and everything. But I don't know. It's just so awkward for me. So
I
I
still
don't.
I still have probably I don't know how many hours, hundreds of hours of video from when we went in 2017, 18, and I just videoed on my phone. I just randomly, just as we were, playing golf or, mini putt or whatever we were doing. I still have tons of hours of just uncut footage.
And that oh, I've done it a couple times with a couple groups, but then heck, I don't know where those cameras go
Yeah.
or like where what phone broke or what phone had it. And oh man, if we could go back and like watch all that stuff though, that would be
It would
pretty
be
awesome.
cool. I like the kind of the uncut, raw. That's fun to watch,
Oh
but
yeah.
anytime that somebody gets their hands on editing it, that's when
That's when stuff doesn't turn out true.
yeah, yeah, correct. That's when things don't turn out true.
Goodness. Oh, so how'd the surgery go?
It got postponed till tomorrow.
Oh, oh, tomorrow.
Yep, tomorrow. Yep. So I have surgery tomorrow and then 6 months.
Starting the year off right, huh?
Yeah, it's actually the first year I've had surgery at this time of the year. Generally, I don't. Generally, I've had it in different times of the year,
Yeah.
which kind of sucks because the season's split in two. And so it's just like when I'm scheduling, because I actually look at my schedule and I think, okay, this is my goals for the year. This is where I want to be. And then, you route your trip and everything.
Yeah.
But, with the with this team series and the regular season split in two, it's kind of an odd thing.
Yeah.
I'll miss the
that-
entire regular season. And then the team season will be, but the team season's a weird deal because it's not like you qualify for one of these teams. So
yeah.
then it's like, how do you manage coming back from an injury in the summertime? Like, where do you go if you're wanting to get on a team, where do you even go to get on a team? I mean,
Is there
obviously you go to challengers, but it's not like I guess my point is there's not like you get this many points and you're going to get on a team. Does that make
yeah.
sense?
Yeah. And is the only way to get on a team is to like for the draft or whatever, or can
No, so the draft is they'll they'll do the combine throughout the year for people to see you. Like January, I think they have three of them. I don't know if they're going to do them this year, but I the draft really just for new people coming in. And then you still have like free agents and people that are unsigned. And, so they're going to be a whole nother team this year though. So they're going to be I believe there's a one more team. There's 10 teams this year or two more.
heck yeah.
So I don't know.
See?
It's weird how it's the whole structure of this team series is what's weird. It's so new to everybody, including the PBR. So
Yeah.
like how you go about, you know, scouting riders, how you go about choosing riders, how do riders, the most efficiently like get seen, like where do you go? Like there's not really anything there other than, you could say go to challengers like the touring pros, but I don't know last year they took out of the velocity standings, there was very few guys, like they didn't go through the velocity tour to fill the teams at all. Like out of
Yeah.
the 10 riders in the velocity tour, there was only a couple that got on a team. The majority of them didn't even get selected. Now some of them did later, like Grayson Cole. He got selected, a little bit later in the year, but he didn't get drafted. So,
Yeah.
and
Well, see, I don't know. It's team deals. It's cool to me,
it,
but it's
well,
I
and
don't
they're doing a new one too. Did you see that? The
know.
PBR and Kid Rock. Okay, so I guess they're doing it's a rodeo team. I haven't looked into this like super specifically, but it sounds to me like it's a rodeo team. Um,
Yeah.
so and then I don't know how they're doing it, but like anybody can enter, and it could just be you and your buddies, and you enter and go qualify. I'm not sure, but it's another series, like it's another tour. It reminds me kind of like the American, okay, but like a team competition.
Ranch rodeo.
No, I need to look into it. The PBR put out an article, and I know that it's team oriented, and the winner gets $1 million, the winning team or something like that. So, but they're just throwing money everywhere. I think what they're really doing is testing markets at this point. Because I mean, think about it this way: you have regular team series, you have a Challenger Tour, you have a Touring Pro, you have the regular season, right? You have the Velocity Tour, you have WCRA. If you count that, I know that they're kind of connected to the PBR. That's six plus this new one. That the PBR has its hand in seven different tours. They're spreading money seven different ways. That's wild if you think about it.
Yeah, that is wild. Crazy. Yeah. No. I didn't know about half those either.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they've been doing a ton.
yeah.
Back in when you were going, and all it was the velocity tour, but it was the pain relief, real time pain relief, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then I guess the
Blue Death.
last
Blue Death was
Blue Death and the real time and they went to just the velocity there at the end of my stuff. So
so.
I don't know.
Did you did you quit before um the Pendleton, before they sponsored it?
No, they sponsored it when I was going to it.
So that would have been there to all right, and
They
they
always
stayed there for a while now.
yeah,
Pendleton.
yeah. No, no, no. My last 19 was my last year.
Last
Yeah.
year. Doing PBRs or riding?
Uh, in PBRs, I quit in 20, or I
Oh,
retired. 20. Yeah.
yeah. And you didn't really go to a whole lot of even amateur deals after that, did you? I saw you a few times, but
I tried to. It wasn't fun for me anymore. It was
I okay, so that's an interesting point because there's different people, and like especially when it comes to like when you're done, when you're gonna retire or not. Like when do people retire? Because you have guys like Mike Lee who freaking it didn't bother him not riding in the PBR and just riding amateur deals. Like he loved doing it. But I don't know that I could do it either. I think that there's a competitive part that I like about going to PBRs and stuff that I don't know that I would be able to sacrifice. Like, because I've been to enough amateur deals. I don't know. I To each his own, I reckon. But what was
yeah.
that for you? Was it the competitive? Like, what specifically about going to little deals? Did not kind of give you that feel.
Well, because like I the only thing I did for 9 years was PBRs, really, and then I did a couple of those bull team deals for guys. But when I quit going to the PBRs and came back, I hadn't been to a local rodeo in a long time. Came
Yeah.
back, anybody hardly.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like they knew me, but I didn't really know anybody. So it was just like standing there by myself, like clapping my hands together. I was like, this is kind of boring.
And that's another thing too. Like as you getting older, I realized I was getting older when like so last time I came back from my injury, my surgery, my knee surgery, I
Yeah.
went to MRCAs. So I just went to amateur rodeos to get warmed up, get loose, riding good. And I did not know anybody. We're in Missouri. This is like right by the house. I don't know anybody. And so then
Yeah.
you build up all these new friends. Everybody knows who you are, and you have no idea who anybody is. It really does take because everybody else is going to PBRs or PRCAs.
Yeah.
We're retired.
Yeah. So it was just weird for me. And my dream was I wanted to be in the PBR. It's like
Yeah,
the all I wanted. And then when I didn't want to be there anymore, I wanted to be at home. Didn't want to go anymore. So it's a pretty easy deal to let go of once I figured out I didn't want to be there.
yeah, yeah. No, no, for sure. And if I remember right, you used a really stiff American rope too, didn't you?
Oh, like a bareback rigging.
You freaking used a stiff one.
Yeah.
That's I did that's another thing that it blows my mind how different people ride with different equipment, especially coming into the ropes. And I
Yeah.
still to this day have no idea how you rode so good with a freaking stiff freaking American. Uh Mason Lowe his wasn't as stiff as yours, but Mason's was fairly stiff as well.
Yeah. I
He
don't know. I like it stiff. I didn't feel like it broke over as much for me, but I could still break over and handle it just fine. But I don't know. I feel like if you'd ever did get behind or anything in that stiff handle, like if my hips were to my rope, that rope was dragging me anywhere I needed it to go. So I don't know. I did like that part of it. I didn't like, I didn't like, I really didn't like hanging up. So that stiff handle allowed me not to hang up a lot. So but when I did hang up with that thing, I was in there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know how you did it. At that time though, I would have been using the same rope I started with. So I used the same rope for a good while. It was like 6 years,
It
7 years.
it properly broke in, wasn't it?
Properly broke in. Yeah, that sucker was broke. I didn't even know. And then I remember you talking to me about ropes, and then I started trying different ropes because mine was really it broke. Like the leather in it just collapsed. But I was using American. So I used a stiff. I actually bought the same one that Mason got. I got a hold of Blake Lewis and told him I want one just like Mason's. I
Yeah.
used it for like a month and a half, and I said, I want one not like Mason's. The exact opposite. Make me the exact opposite of this bull rope.
One slight in already.
Yeah, I never could get even with the Brazilians, I gave it a big shot, trying like the heavier Brazilian, stiff, freaking big block, and I couldn't do it. I
I
don't know
love it.
how you guys kept your weight on your legs. Like I felt like the biggest fight was like staying up on my legs.
That was the easy part for me.
Like getting up over your rope with a stiff rope. I don't know how you guys do it. You definitely do though.
I don't know. It was just easy for me. I don't know. It
Did
worked
you
out.
did you ride under so thinking about because I had one person ask me and I want to have a Brazilian on here. You may know a little bit, but like the difference in riding styles from Brazilians to Americans, but really the rope itself. So you look at like the true Brazilian blocks that are really tall and big, versus, you know, a like a Blake Lewis type Brazilian that I'm using now, which is like an American block. It's
Yeah.
just on the same way as American. But I wonder if like how you ride with your hips changes. Like I know Dakota talks about, them brilliant Brazilians riding underneath their rope a lot. So, really having that high rise and stuff doesn't really bother them because they're really riding like underneath that. Does that make sense? Am I
Yeah.
communicating that all right?
Yeah. No, like the end of my career, I was having some hand problems, probably because I was riding with a really stiff handle and I was losing my hand a lot. So I did try a Brazilian rope and I didn't feel like it changed my riding style, and my riding style still fit it.
Yeah,
It was such a learning curve for me to figure out where to place it.
that's everybody. That is one thing that I will say. There's a lot of benefits to the Brazilian rope, and I don't think I would ever go back to an American. But the downside to that Brazilian rope is placement, and
Yeah.
it's everybody. Me and Kyler were just talking about this the other day. Me and Andrew Alvidrez have talked. Everybody, I think, has the same issue. Now, some of the Brazilians don't, but again, I think it's because they just do it the same. They stick it down the side.
Yeah, and I
Not
can't.
all of them, but some of them.
Yeah, I never could do that. I pretty much placed mine about like an American. I just picked a spot and put it there every time. But you could definitely tell on some bulls, like it was like, no, I bucked off because that rope is weird.
Yeah.
Like it was like, no, it shoved me way outside. Like the whole time it was shoving me outside.
I
But
feel like they slide more. Like you have to also be more cautious about your rope sliding with a uh Brazilian.
oh,
Like over the center of their back. Like
oh, no, I could definitely
with an American, I feel like it never slid on me, and with the Brazilian, like I have to make sure that it's, I pull all the fat out and it's good.
yeah, no. See with an American, I didn't pull tight rope really.
Yeah, right. But it pulls down, so the American pulls down on your hand, whereas the Brazilian it's more just like a pressure that's around your hand.
Yeah, I don't know. A Brazilian rope, it was weird. I don't know. It's it was fun. It's just it's so different. There's so much technical stuff to it that I still never learned.
I I I used American for a long time too. It took me 2 tries before I stuck with the Brazilian, and it finally took me saying like you either use the Brazilian or you don't, and like you're ride the same, like you just need to make a commitment, and I just went with it. But before that, when I was just feeling it out, like it did feel weird. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't feel the same. If you're used to an American rope, it definitely doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, no, it definitely gets different, but
Especially while they're bucking. I think. I
yeah,
mean, it feels weird in the chute, like, just because naturally you're not putting your pinky on it because it's going to move. So you have to put it over a little bit. Even if it's just a little bit over, it still feels different.
oh goodness. No, so you what are you having surgery on?
My shoulder, my right shoulder. Yeah,
This you had surgery on that one before, haven't
I
you?
have. Yeah, this is my fourth shoulder surgery. Had two on my left, two on my right. This is my ninth surgery in 11 years, something like that.
You're doing it pretty good. You're doing it pretty good.
Hey, I was doing good there for a minute. I had a good like this last season, even though it was a half a season. I was healthy the whole year. I finally was getting in my rhythm. I'd been healthy for like a year, and then I freaking snapped my ankle in two, and then freaking the second bull back, I freaking tear my rotator cuff from my shoulder.
Yeah. Oh good. Yeah, that's always fun.
So I there for a minute I felt like freaking Chase Outlaw, just getting hurt every freaking time.
Oh gosh. Yeah, no, that's another thing I don't really miss about bull riding is not being all banged up and hurt. Like it's pretty
Yeah,
nice to
what's that like? What's that like?
come in. Well, this year will be 4 years of waking up not hurting, so I don't mind it.
How I how were you throughout your career, like injuries wise? Like take us through, give me a list of your injuries. Give me a list of like how many surgeries or injuries you've had.
So I've had three surgeries. Uh my first broken bone riding bulls was my femur.
Oh,
Broke it when I was like seventh grade, eighth grade. I was young. I actually I'm gonna have to wind up having another surgery to get I got a rod in my leg still. They put two of them in there and they got one out and the other rod fused to my bone.
okay.
So they couldn't get out. But now my bone is kind of rejecting the rod and it's actually pushing the rod out.
And that's on your
And
femur? Is that correct?
so I got this rod that's coming out. starting to come out down by my knee. And every time I take a step, I can feel that rod catching on my muscles.
Huh.
So yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to have that taken out, but they can't guarantee me they can get it out without breaking my leg. So so I'm putting it off as long as I can until.
Is it guaranteed that you're gonna have to? Is there any chance it could, or is it just something you're gonna have to do?
Well, they can go in there and snip it off where it's at, but as far as it's already pushed out, like it'll be another 10 years and they'll have to go snip it off again because it's literally pushing it all the way out the bone. Uh, but
Well, heck, I mean, if you, dang, that's kind of sucks because like that's a deal too, probably where you probably do want to get that done while you're young versus, if you wait, as long as you possibly can, like you're getting older too. So I'm sure your body's,
I probably need to get it out, but I also can't afford to have
yeah,
it broken
broken.
right now.
Yeah, that would suck.
Uh, and then uh, I don't know. I broke both collarbones. Got plate and screws in this one. Uh, I've had shoulder surgery, rotator cuff, and or broke the round ball in there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Broke that, and well, that's about it, really. I've been pretty healthy.
I can say that's pretty good. I'll
Yeah,
trade
like
you.
yeah, no, yeah. I've been really healthy, other than weak collarbones, I guess.
Yeah, I broke mine once.
Yeah, I
Never
remember
played.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that sucked. That was the beginning of the year.
yeah. No, like when I broke this collarbone, it was in Vegas at the last Cowboy Standing,
Okay.
and man, I freaking bucked off. I smacked the ground on this shoulder, stood up. That bull smoked me, sent me flying. And then I landed back on that shoulder, and that bull hit this shoulder. So I don't know when it broke, but it shattered all that, and it was multiple pieces, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I didn't shatter mine. I just broke mine, just broke it clean. I didn't even have to get a plate in it. So, and it really wasn't
Oh,
that bad of recovery. That's why even my shoulder, I wish I would have just snapped my freaking arm in two.
yeah.
Like I know
Uh,
that sounds bad, but I would have rather snapped my arm in two than really anything other than my shoulder, just because of the length of time that it takes to recover. With bones, it's like, okay, you got 8 to 12 weeks, that bone's healed.
yep. And yeah, no, that's when the shoulder sucks. It just takes forever, and I don't know. It seemed like it knees and stuff. They suck too. It take forever to heal or feel confident in them
Yeah,
again.
I felt like my knee did pretty good. My knee wasn't bad. My ankle, like it's not bad. I lost a lot of mobility. I think because of all my hardware that they had to put in it. I lost a lot of mobility in it. So that's been like just getting mobility back has really been the only downside there. But the shoulder just sucks because of how long, because it's just such a complex joint.
Yeah.
And he's gonna do. It's funny because so my left shoulder, which Tandy's done all of my surgeries. This will be the first time I don't go through Tandy because of insurance purposes. So I'm going to St. Louis for a doctor that's he's a St. Louis Cardinals surgeon. So,
Nice.
but so my left one, the first one was just like a slap tear, bicep tendon, labrum tear. And then the second one was much worse until he did the ladder J. And so it's like basically they reconstruct your freaking shoulder to where like your bicep tendon kind of will overlap that joint to kind of keep it from coming out more. But
Yeah.
it like puts a weird spot in my like if I have my shirt off and I do that, like there's like a big hole right in the front of my shoulder where they like had to move everything. And so the second surgery they're doing on my right one, he's gonna do the ladder J again.
So you're
So
just
yeah. So literally like my at least I'll be matching now, but it'll be nothing like what my shoulders were before.
yeah. Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
It was funny, like the doctor. So I went in there and he knows me because my wife works for Mercy. so she's an athletic trainer for Mercy, and so she works for one of the other doctors. And so he knows me and stuff and kind of knows my profession, but he saw the x-rays and the MRI of my shoulder, and he saw all the work Tandy had to do beforehand. And he's like, it was like after that, his assistant came in and they're like, hey, he would like to take pictures and like videos of the surgery and stuff and like your condition before and after. Would you care if he shared this with people in articles or whatever? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. He's probably looked at my shoulder and was like, man, this is jacked up.
Just a replacement may be better.
Yeah, he's like, if you'd have played baseball, it'd have been a career ender. I'm like, yeah. But when I did it the first time, I got so this one was like I landed with my arm above my head and the bull stepped on my shoulder. That was
That's
not
how I have. Yeah.
That's how it happened the first time I had it. And it destroyed, like it tore my rotator cuff. The bone that your rotator cuff attaches to, it broke that, like broke that piece off, broke a bunch of bones in there. And so like when you look, I'll find the x-ray for everybody watching the podcast where they can look at it. But you can see like my ball and everything in my joint, like from the x-rays, like it looks gnarly. Like that sucker's not, it is not supposed to look that way.
Pretty, but I'm sure it doesn't look like that.
Yeah. It's funny too, like with doctors, people don't realize how good Tandy is. Especially even with he understands like, look, my job is to this person's body is a tool that they're using for work. And my job is to make sure that tool can function the best way it possibly can. Versus like a doctor that's not in like extreme, sports like this where it's, extreme, impact sports, then I don't know, it just changes things. Like they don't really see it. They see it as, hey, you probably should like consider not riding anymore just for your overall health, in the future.
Eh.
Like, well, I think my, focus on overall health, I think we passed that line a while back. I think we're too deep now, doctor. I think we're too deep.
Then we'll talk.
I don't think there's going back. It's like me and Keith, we were talking with like the team stuff, just like our commitment to the PBR. And I remember talking to Keith, and Keith is like, "Look, we're all in. Like we have devoted our entire careers to this, so there's no going back at this point. Like we're not 21 anymore. You decide what you're gonna do, and we've crossed that line."
No, that ain't no kidding. So, do they still have the bull teams thing
They
at
do.
like all the velocities?
They do have the bull teams, and I will say this: you left maybe like right after you left, things started to get better from the position you were in. I remember you riding like I used a stupid amount of bulls and not even getting back into short rounds and stuff like that. And that was the beginning of like the bull teams and everything. It's developed a lot since then.
Okay,
I think
good.
I think at
That's
the beginning, bull team guys, they thought, let's bring a bunch of bulls that everybody's gonna ride, and that's how we're gonna win. But now it's not so much that way. It's like you need to bring a bull a guy's gonna be 88 on, and not too many guys are gonna ride him, but they should. And when they do, we're gonna win a lot of money.
well, I mean,
So
yeah, it's
yeah,
better
there's
than
got to
80
be
or
yeah,
87 making the freaking short round.
yeah. That I'll never forget when we were going at that time because I was just starting. In 2017 was like my first year. I met you. So the first time I even heard Cody Rodeo Tyler, I think I've told you this story, was in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. And um I went through I don't know if it was the day sheet or if I was talking to somebody and I heard somebody call you Rodeo and people were calling you Rodeo. And I'm just over there like this guy right here. This guy's never been on a bull. He probably come in here and his name's Rodeo. Like, and then, and then you were spotlighted. So then we did the walkouts and stuff, and you were spotlighted. I'm like, dang. And I think you
Tons.
won too.
Oh gosh, that's awesome. No, you've never told me that.
That was the first time I ever like because when I started, like I started in 2012, and I went to practice pen, and I went to college, but I wasn't really in your area. Like I wasn't up by Oklahoma a bunch. Even when I first started, I was in Missouri, or I was down in Poplar Bluff going to college rodeos. And I
Yeah.
didn't really like expand until 2016 when I went to PBRs. That the first year I went. I hadn't really expanded much other than local deals, NFPBs and MRCAs and stuff.
Yeah, and I pretty much stayed Oklahoma, Texas. I only went to Missouri a handful of times. Like I stayed back then because I would have been just
Look, for you, that made a lot of, that makes a lot of sense because you'd had to come over to Missouri and we would have had to take all your money. And we already take Oklahoma boys' money so much already. It's better,
oh,
you know.
I hate to say it. When I went to Missouri, I was bringing first place home. So like they just couldn't buck me off over there.
You did strap a good one at freaking that racetrack, Lucas.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember that because that bull, I didn't know any bull in there. Had no idea. I had no idea. And I'm like, I was even asking people, I'm like, what do I pick? So I didn't
Because you was in the short round. You picked before me.
I picked
Y'all,
before you, yeah. Yeah, I
that's
was
the
up
only,
there.
that's the only bull I knew in the short round.
Okay, that's
And last guy.
Ooh. I take that back. I did know one bull because it was one of Isaiah's that I picked.
Yeah.
But I at that time I didn't even know what that bull was. But now it's looking back, that's funny because he was freaking he'd been to the NFR, I think, before then.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like that bull's awesome. Yeah, salty dog. Like that's still the only time I've ever been on that bull. Like was
Oh, really?
there.
Huh. And
Yep.
were you 90 or 89?
9, yeah.
9, dang. They should have gave you 90 there.
Yeah.
Would have gave you 90. As
I
long as
always
what?
but I always got on a bucker there of Jacks every year in the short round. Every year I got on a bucker there of Jacks.
I like Jack. I like getting on Jack's bulls.
I've kind of grew up getting on Jack's bulls. Like they had the JBRs back in the day. And he ever since like steer riding Pee Wee bulls, like he'd always bring those bulls, and I always like getting on his
You
pen.
probably got on Jack and Jeans quite a bit then. And LJ's.
Uh,
How much
LJ
was how much was LJ taking though? Like
I really didn't have bulls back when I was younger. Uh, I kind of remember like I was in high school when I first went to LJ's for the first time. Uh, but
you went to Dirt Eaters probably quite a bit.
no,
You didn't?
no.
Huh. That's interesting. I went to Dirt Eaters. I remember going. This would have been early on, like me and Cole Fisher when we were kind of starting to expand and like move, try to move out and go more places. And we went over to Dirt Eaters a few times. That's where I met Wyatt Rogers.
Yeah,
I met Wyatt at there, and that was back when he was doing CBRs.
yeah, yeah. No,
Long time ago.
he was just baby.
Yeah, yeah, he would have been. Yeah, he
I
was like
think.
the next big thing, and then Zane was going.
Yep. No. Yeah. No. I really didn't do too much over in eastern Oklahoma. I don't know. I was always central, and there's so many guys around me that own bulls that
Yeah.
I didn't have
Did you go
a
do
lot
a
to
lot
get
of BOAs? Not BOAs, BRIs.
on.
That's
No, I really.
isn't it? Really? So what associations were really around you then?
See, and I didn't really go for associations. Like I
You just went to open deals then and PBRs.
I just went to really open stuff. Like I did a year of pro rodeo when I first turned 18. Made the circuit finals there, and then I was like, this really isn't for me. PR. So I took off for the PBR after that.
I've never done PRCA, never bought my PRCA card. I have thought about it, especially now with they have the extreme bulls. I wouldn't mind probably going to a few of those.
No, extreme bulls would be a lot better, but I don't know. I just didn't like sitting through the whole rodeo just to get on, or I was in the slack a couple times,
Uh-huh.
which terrible. Like
No.
for me,
I know, because everybody is all about the rodeo lifestyle, right? I PRTA because of the rodeo lifestyle. But then, like, there's always that fear that maybe, if you come from not that rodeo lifestyle and then you start trying to rodeo, you won't like that lifestyle very much.
no, no. When I was going to open stuff, like I was very conscious about added money. Like
Oh,
I didn't go if it was like a $500 deal
yeah.
added. Like I was hitting like only stuff that was like two grand added max.
Yeah. Nowadays,
So,
that's not very hard. There's a lot
no,
more money.
man, I would travel quite a bit. I would go to Texas and all the surrounding states just to hit those bull ridings, other than going to some little thing right next down the road. So I don't know.
Some of those little deals can pay though. There's
Yeah, no,
there's
they
a
can.
few of them. You have to
I
know you have to be well informed on what deals nobody's going to stay on. If you know that you're the only guy that's going to stay on, sometimes you can walk out with more money.
the couple times I did try to hit those smaller deals, like there'd be like three bull riders at this 500 added bull ride rodeo, whatever. Every every time I showed up like that, all three guys rode some kicker or something and not giving any money. Like, oh, here's $50 and you had $100 fees, like crap.
Crap. Yeah, no joke. Yeah, that is always the worst. That's the downside. Is because even like so, I went to those MRCAs when I come back, and a lot of them were paying really good. Like it'd be 500 to 1,000 added, and I'd be the only guy stay on, walk out with 1,500. One of them was like $3,800. Only guy stay on. 80 guys got on. I was the only guy to stay on. And then
That's
so that's great and all, but then there's the times where you go there and they fill all the holes, and it was
yeah,
only 700 added, and you walk out of there with like $300. You know,
yeah,
you're like, dang. I went to one. It was so I rode the IPRA Bull of the Year for 88 and a half, and I think I won $320. I was like, really? But at the same time, I also have been like 76 points and walk out there with like, 1,800. New Windsor, Illinois. I I've gone there multiple times and won a pile because New Windsor is so Hampton. It's a Hampton production. Him and
yeah,
Burris will bring bulls there, but Burris doesn't bring as much. Burris just has sweet bulls anymore. Back in the
yeah.
day, he really had some man killers, but anymore, like he's got a sweet pen. But
Back in the, I didn't mind them.
I think I got on one there that ran off, and I was the only guy staying all weekend. And I won like it was quite a bit. It was like 6 grand.
Heck yeah,
With like 72 points, something like that.
man. Oh goodness. So
It works its way out. What's up, everybody? I'm thrilled to announce a fantastic partnership between the Rodeo Wagon Podcast and RodeoLife Official. RodeoLife isn't just a coffee brand, it's a veteran-owned business that epitomizes the principles of hard work, dedication, and perseverance in all their products. As an avid consumer of RodeoLife coffee, I am proud to align myself with a company that mirrors my values and resonates with our audience. Supporting this veteran-owned business is not only a testament to our shared ethos, but also a way to give back to those who have served our country. This partnership promises exciting content, collaborations, and surprises for all our listeners and the rodeo community. You can anticipate special episodes featuring the Rodeo Life experts and even a chance to win some Rodeo Life merchandise. We look forward to this journey with Rodeo Life and the enriching experience it will bring our audience. Join us as we venture into this partnership, fueled by a passion for rodeo and a great cup of Rodeo Life coffee. Stay tuned for more exciting updates and the amazing things to come from the Rodeo Wagon Podcast and Rodeo Life Official. Make sure you go to RodeoLifeOfficial.com and check out all their sweet merch. Are you searching for that perfect statement? Look no further than Bluegrass Engraving, where creativity meets craftsmanship. Their specialty lies in creating custom buckles and dip cans, but that's not all. They redefine elegance with an exquisite line of jewelry, and for those who appreciate a little flair, check out their engraved guns collection. At Bluegrass Engraving, they don't just create products, they craft experiences.
Visit Bluegrass Engraving today and let them turn your visions into engraved realities. Bluegrass Engraving, where artistry meets authenticity. Hey there, folks. I want to tell you about my favorite cowboy hat brand, Sombrero Brands. As a professional bull rider, I know how important it is to have a hat that not only looks good, but can withstand the toughest rides out there. And that's exactly what Sombrero Brands delivers. Their hats are custom fitted and shaped to perfection, with a level of attention to detail that's hard to find these days. But what really sets Sombrero Brands apart is the fact that they're a family-owned and operated business. Mark and Kendall Holler, the owners, and their daughter Sarah, who's only 13 but already a hat-making prodigy, are all passionate about their craft. They know what it takes to make a cowboy hat that can stand up to anything the rodeo circuit can throw at it. And get this, the founder's grandfather, Polly Holler, was born and raised at South Camp on the 4-6s Ranch. These folks have got cowboy blood running through their veins, and it shows in every hat they make. That's why I'm proud to have Sombrero Brands as a major sponsor for my podcast, the Rodeo Wagon Podcast. So if you're in the market for a hat that's tough enough to handle anything the rodeo throws at it, give Sombrero Brands a try. Trust me, you won't be disappointed.
But the bull teams that's really, with the velocity, that's really what it's become. And nowadays there's 2 on each weekend too. So that helps a lot.
Spreads the guys out a little bit more.
It spreads the guys out a little bit more. Although I will say this, what's your opinion on this? Because Cody Custer, he talks about it. But Cody, he was saying that he thinks that it should be harder to get on the UTV. So you shouldn't just be able to get into it at velocity and win it and then go to the UTV because of the caliber of bulls that are at the UTV. So there could be a guy that goes in there, like for instance, this year I think one guy was 84 points and won the entire event. And so he got his UTV, and he was only 84. And there are a few guys there that me and Keith were watching last year. There's one guy, he almost won an event a couple times, but like you could tell, like he only rode 2 bulls, and kind of you want borderline, like, what kind of guys are you sending to that level?
Yeah.
If the contrast, between bulls is that much different. And I think certainly it is. I do. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. It's hard because like that's how I made it on tour and everything. But like I also had enough points when I first made it in 17. I had enough points where the first cut, like I was going up there.
Yeah.
And then up winning an event and getting to go up there before the cut. So I don't know. It just like the guys that are ready for it will step up and make it work. But it's the guys that aren't ready for it, like
that's
they're
the
just
question. Yeah. And how many guys, being honest too, like to be the devil's advocate against that, how many guys are maybe not ready, but they at the same time are? Like, how many times are you in your career completely ready to move to that next level? Some guys are, but
yeah.
but I think there are guys out there that need that, At the same time, maybe that's wrong too, because there are guys that they go pro rodeo or they stay and they really develop their skill set, and it's not as a big of adjustment. It's still a pretty major adjustment, but I'm not sure on that end. Like, I don't know that there's been too many guys that are completely unprepared that accidentally win a velocity event, I guess is what I'm saying. How
I don't
often does
know.
that actually happen?
Before all the bull team stuff, they're like you've seen the same guys all the time. And like it was you just knew some of those younger kids, like when they did struggle, like it was like, no, you just need a breakthrough. Like you need one breakthrough, get a little confidence under your belt, and then you're taking off.
Yeah.
And I don't even know who's on tour anymore, or I probably don't even know most of them. But I don't know. I bet I bet if we looked at that, like it would be a bunch of those kids that were younger that needed a boost that are up there now, like so I don't know. It's time.
I think I think the one thing that I would probably agree on, like, it should be harder to get up there. I don't think it should be as much back and forth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think the past year, so they've changed things too, by the way. So like last year, okay, Cody. So
Yeah.
they didn't go by, so they broke it up. So first of all, the World Final, so the UTB had its own point system. The Velocity had its own point system. They're not connected anymore. So yeah, correct. So what happens is they go off of the past 2 weeks. Whoever has the most world points is what they call them. They don't call you like your points in the Velocity Tour will not help you make the World Finals. Only your UTB points will. However, your Velocity points will help you get on the UTB. Okay, so this is a weird thing. Last year, I ended up seventh in the Velocity Tour. Okay, and I didn't get one event because I never won an event. I took second multiple times and I won a lot of rounds. So I gained a lot of points. In any other year, I had enough points where I would have been seated on the UTB for multiple events at least, right? But because of the way it worked, if you win an event, you're guaranteed two events. Okay, you're guaranteed two events. Yep, if you win one. Yeah, right. If you don't win one, then you're not guaranteed any events, but because of how many points I had, I was able to go up and get on the, like, basically they had events where if you're outside of the top 30, if you ride, you move on to the next round on the UTB. And if you buck off, you're done for the weekend. And so a lot of times throughout the year, can you hear me?
Type. Yeah. It was the last cowboy standing type deal, like a bracket system like that, or like.
No, it's not a bracket system. Basically, it's, the first round they'll buck 40 head or 45 head, and then the second round they're only going to buck 35 or 30, and then they'll have a championship round.
Okay. That's yeah.
Yeah. So they did that. So it's kind of weird, like, this past year, it's like if you win an event, you guarantee two. But if you just rode good, it was really difficult to get like any guaranteed bulls, past.
Oh.
It's just the point system, since you have been riding in the PBR since 2020,
Well,
3 years, has
yeah.
changed probably 40 billion times.
I mean, it changed every year when I was there, so.
It's changed every year and multiple times through the year. In fact, last year was weird because throughout the season they went back and forth 3 times on whether like your Touring Pro points counted for the
World point.
velocity points. So they started the year off, they were separate. Touring Pros was a separate deal. Your velocity counted towards velocity, right? And then they changed it, and then they changed it, and then they changed it back again. So at the end of the year, Touring Pros counted towards velocity points.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So
Uh,
it's
ah,
crazy. I don't. That's one thing I need to read the rules book this year. I want to put now that I'm not riding like because my shoulder. I want to see how many times some of these points change throughout the year. I'm just curious on what's going to change and how long. This is getting into this because this is a good question. How long do you think they're going to stay split up between the regular season and the team series? Do you think they're going to continue to keep it that way?
I have no idea. Probably just because I don't know. I'm sure they're making a killing on this team thing. So yeah, they will probably hold on to that, or they will probably, I don't know, ghost all that if it makes enough money.
I did that. It has to be money. If right now, I mean, all the different tours and stuff they're doing, and with this new Kid Rock thing, and I'm sure they're gonna keep doing a bunch of other stuff. It seems to me like they're testing everything just to see,
What makes the most? I
yeah,
don't
what
know.
the most money. It has to be. It's the only
Yeah.
way. Why would you? Because the biggest thing that like Sean and stuff talks about frequently is how much more money there is in bull riding now, and that he's produced this much more money. What's
Yeah.
interesting is you've produced more money, but it's just being spread out everywhere. Like
How much
it's
are they going back to riders?
what was that?
how much of it's actually going back to the riders? Like, has the pay increased or?
It hasn't increased per event. It's actually went down. I believe unless they changed it this year to win. So it used to be $100,000 check if you won a major, and it's not. It was 75,000 last year. But
Wow.
I think they have increased money for contestants, but it's just spread out over, more people. So you're not
Yeah.
necessarily winning more money as an individual. It's just more individuals are winning more money. Does that make sense?
Like they're just, instead of paying 8 places, they're paying 12 or something,
Correct.
right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, that's
And,
dumb.
and
But
when they add money, instead of adding money to specific pots, they're spreading it out. So like this new deal with, Kid Rock, like that's $1
where,
million that they just took. Instead of adding it in other places, they just created something new. Some of that
yeah,
could be possibly the people that are upfronting that money. So
yeah.
PBR is not paying that $1 million out. Somebody is. So maybe there was a deal where a company's like, hey, we want to do this. I don't know. So, but it is interesting. Like me and Kyler Oliver, we were just talking about this the other day on the podcast, and Kyler was like, they're just freaking spreading money everywhere. He's like, it's almost like they're just freaking, you know, they owe in debt and they're borrowing money from the bank to pay the debt they owe. So they're going in more debt and they just keep, I don't know, but they just keep adding more and more stuff. And since then that this came out, so I think it's hilarious.
That's a lot of, I don't have TV, so I don't really watch, or I can't watch any of it. So it just, I don't know. I don't know. It's changed so much since I was there. Like, I'm glad to hear the bull team deals gotten somewhat better.
Yeah, I will say the bull teams for it it's kind of a a bad deal for guys that make a living putting on rodeos and having lots of stock, and Justin Cornwell's of the world and Mike Miller's, Sonny Williams. Those guys, the bull teams can't be helping at all. And I feel bad for those guys, you know, because I mean it's no fault of their own that, all that's happened. But on the other end, as far as the bull riding world and the whole industry, I think that it's been for the benefit. It's created more people that are passionate about bull riding. You have a
Yeah.
lot of guys that would have never been able to have 40 head, but they can have 14 bulls, and they can take those 4 bulls that they own and go and compete with them and have fun and be able to, make their money back. So,
Yeah.
and I think that it's been good for maybe even some level of skill development in helping guys coming up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, it's good getting on solid bulls. Like, that just makes you better. But I don't know. I've,
I'm not for bring your own rider deals.
yeah, the, I don't like those either. Like, that's really what killed me. Like, because I was like, yeah, I'll do that after I did the PBRs. I did that for a little bit, the bring your own rider stuff. I got tired of getting on the same bull. Like, I was like, no, put me on something else. Like, please put me on something else. Like, it killed me. Like, and like, that's all I see on Facebook now with these younger kids that I do know. Like, it's like every weekend I see them get on the same bull every weekend somewhere else. And I'm like, bro, stop that.
Not
Like,
that. Well, yeah. And when we're gonna find out what the team like, so even the team deal is kind of like that, right? It's a little different, but guys are getting matched up with bulls in the team series. What's that going to do to the overall, rider skill set? We're going to find out this year. We'll probably find out more about that come after Chicago. Before Chicago, everybody from a fan base, if you're watching the PBR right now,
yeah,
the PBRs on the East Coast, they are getting on weaker bulls. That will not happen all year. When they
yeah.
get out of the East Coast and they start getting into the Midwest and they start getting into Albuquerque and they start getting to Kansas City and they start getting,
There's gonna be some heat.
there's going to bring some heat in Oklahoma. You start Midwest and start working your way out west, and you're going to start getting on some bucking bulls, and that'll say a lot
Yeah.
about, the skill set overall, specifically because of that. You're used to getting on weaker bulls and stuff and then, step up. But then some of these guys, if they've been going to just bull team events or going to the team series and been matched up, you know, what does that look like, especially in the championship round?
Yeah. I I don't know. It's this gonna be crazy.
I don't that the bull industry will be the question mark around all of this. Like even the team series is quite a lighter load. Like you're getting matched up. I think in one way it could help as far as this. Your really ranked bulls are going to be matched up with guys.
Yeah.
So you may see some of these ranker bulls get rode more just because the guys getting on them will consistently be matched up with them.
Yeah.
Um, but at the other side, if the regular season stays the same, that makes it, much more difficult.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, because I mean, you're gonna have a handful of guys getting on those buckers the whole time. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's gotten hard enough. Last year, they went 4 events, I believe, in a row without riding one championship round bull. And that's at the highest level, and guys aren't getting it done 4 weekends in a row. That's pretty
Yeah,
impressive on the bull caliber.
yeah, no, and shoot, that happens. It happened on the 15-15s when they still have those, the
They
15-15s?
got rid of them this year, maybe. I need to ask. Me and Kyler talked about the 15 there for a minute. Cody, were you at the event in Billings? I don't know what year that was. When there was 45 guys that showed up and only 21 got on in the championship Sunday because everybody was hurt.
No, no. I was at Billings 2 years. 1 year I was with you
Yeah,
up there
that
because
was the
you had your
first year. I think that was the first year I ever got on tour. That's 2017.
and then
Yeah, that would have been a different year. That would have been 2021, maybe.
20 half the guys were
Half of,
hurt.
yeah, tell me that. That's not nuts. So people like thinking, okay, so you look at, and but think about it. So Billings is a 3-day event, and so that's 4 bulls plus a 15 of 15. So for some
Yeah,
guys, that was 5 freaking bulls. And
I
and
didn't the 15-15 for me, I'd never liked just because like if you weren't in the top 15, like you didn't get a shot at those extra points,
yeah,
Like
right.
I didn't like that. Like because it's only a select
Well,
few that
and honestly, if you were gonna do that, why not just take the top 15 bulls and make a short round and just be like, look, I don't.
because it's like 2 short rounds like
Yeah.
that you're getting. Like it just didn't make sense to me, but I don't know if they were trying to do stuff for the fans or I don't know,
They,
whatever they were trying.
I think I don't know if it's that event specifically. That was the worst I think I'd been on. That was bad. I was hurting. I was hurting so bad. But I when I looked at the day sheet and saw only 21 guys were getting on or 22, I was like, I have to get on. I can't be. I can't be one more. I was in. There's enough of us in bad shape. It looked like a freaking hospital, like a war hospital in the sports med room. Like they were just carrying people, carting people back.
Yeah. Oh man. So that would be rough. Like I don't know. That's crazy. Half of them
Half of
to
them.
be.
And it really just shows like the bull caliber and how much can guys handle. It's the toughest guys in the world. I don't know too many other sports that are as like, you know, have as tough as individuals. And I say toughness is just like a will to get on. Like to have that many guys at that level not getting on because they're beat up, that's some serious stuff. So that's a big deal with Arcadia too. So in Arcadia in 2000, oh heck, that was 21 maybe 20. I'd have to look. So we all said like weren't even getting on. Did you ever hear this story?
Oh.
Dude. Okay, so in Arcadia in like 2020, 2021, all right. So this was when I broke my collarbone because I was 88 and a quarter that night. Okay. So we get there in Arcadia, and Cooper Davis called me the night before. It's like, hey, you know, we're gonna show up to this event. I'm gonna send you like a paperwork and stuff of like what we're asking for. At that time, the PBR wanted to make a long go, short go every day. So they wanted to make each day a separate event. So if it was a 2-day event, that was technically 2 separate events, right? And
Yeah.
that was coming out of COVID where there was like TV. So it had to do with contract, I'm sure, with television contracts. Like they probably were required to show so many events, right? And so they're like, okay, well, we'll just make separate events. That way we can get double the events. That way, if COVID or anything crazy happens, we meet our contract. I don't know if that's the case, but I'm gonna guess that's the case. So like that became a major issue because now we're getting on riders, we're getting on double the short rounders for less pay at that point. We're taking a pay cut because we're getting on more bulls and the pay wasn't changing.
Yeah.
So we all got all the guys in the top 35 in the world signed a thing saying that we would not get on that day unless they changed the rules. And we also in that was like the pay increase, like, hey, it's been 20 years and we're not making any more money. Like to win an event is no more money. It's even less at some events than it was in 2008 or something when they. So anyway, so it's 5 minutes before the bull riding starts, and nobody's even got their gear out of the bag. Like all of our gear is in their vehicle. The CBS, it's on CBS, and it's about to start in 5 minutes. And so it was like Sean Gleason didn't even see it coming. Like it was completely blindsided him. It blindsided. I didn't even know it was coming. I mean, there was obviously a few guys that had this planned out, and then there was a bunch of us that really didn't know what was going on until we got there. So we all
Yeah.
we all basically we made a compromise at that side where they were still gonna do a long go short go like it was a separate event, but it was gonna be fake. So basically they made it one event, like we said, and then the short go, they said, look, because we are under contract, we have to buck X amount of bulls. So does anybody want to get on these bulls? We'll pay you $1,000 a piece to get on a short rounder. And then we'll just whoever. Well, at that point, and I still believe in it, because at that point I'm like, well, if I'm fighting for not getting on more bulls, like, if that's what I'm willing not to get on, why the heck would I, just volunteer myself? So like a bunch of us said, screw that, we're not getting on 2 bulls today. We'll get on our short rounder tomorrow for the event. Because this
Yeah.
basically would have been just like a mount out. And that was actually when Zeke rode Smooth Operator for like 92 or something like that. It was a mount out.
No way.
So we all stood up, signed the contract. Since then, it's all nothing's really came back up. But I mean, Cooper was even talking at that time like about unionizing and all of that kind of crazy stuff. But
Yes. See, I've learned more on this podcast today than I ever thought I would have. Like,
yeah,
man, I've so much, and I'm kind of happy I did a little bit. That's
there's been a lot go down. There's been a lot go down, and I don't know. It's a weird thing because like the way the PBR is set up as a business and stuff, like there's not really a lot of guys. Like you talk about unionizing and stuff like that, and almost all sports have it. I'm not even necessarily for unions. Like in general, I think that it's better off not to have unions. But at the
yeah,
same time, like if you're owned by a corporate business that doesn't care about you, and you work, like we do, like a union would actually be beneficial in helping protect us maybe from
yeah.
stuff. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Sport because like you're literally laying your body on the line every single time. It's like not like most sports, like, yeah, you can have an injury, but like it's guaranteed pretty much in this sport. Like,
It is definitely guaranteed. I, I of all people, I can tell you that it is guaranteed. It's gonna happen.
so it's like, I don't know. That's silly to me. Like oh man, that's crazy.
I,
I'm so
I don't know
I,
how much too. Okay, here's the thing. I don't know. how much they're testing too. Like how many guys do they have? The PBR. So the PBR, and it's no joke. Like the PBR, when people talk about them not caring about riders and like us just being a number, going through the machine, like it is true. That's what happens. They're
Oh,
they have a business, they have a production. They need us to put on this, to actually run a successful business. But I wonder how much with all of this going on, they're testing how many guys do they have? Because if they have a bunch of guys, then it makes sense for them to just keep putting us through the grinder, you know?
yeah. They'll weed out
Yeah,
that they.
right. Yeah. And then the guys that don't make it won't. But if you are limited on, athletic capabilities, then that's gonna create some issues.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Because
Yeah.
it's not like other sports, where injuries are a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I don't know. I almost want to start watching the PBR again just so I could have a better conversation about all this stuff
You
because
need
I'm
to
so out of the.
watch.
But
Okay, how about this? What we'll do is you watch some more PBR, and we'll do another podcast because I truly am interested on. You have a unique perspective where you rode at the highest level, right? You rode at the very highest level in the sport of bull riding, and you exited right before major corporate changes as far as like the direction of the PBR. The corporate PBR took this industry in a whole new direction,
see, I
following you coming out. And I'm honestly curious what you see now opposed to what you saw and experienced then as far as the contrast.
because I thought with the bull teams it was ruining it. Like I really did.
Bull teams are the least of anybody's concerns right now with the PBR.
Man.
And I love the PBR. I I love the brand. I ride for the brand. I would be riding for the brand right now if, I was healthy enough. So I'm not coming. I know some people are very pessimistic and like I believe in the truth, and so some things I think needs changed for the betterment of the sport. But at the same time, like, I love the PBR and they've provided a lot of opportunity for us as riders.
Yeah,
Um,
I
but
know.
we're just in such a unique spot, like team sport. Like what?
And
That's
it's
scary. It's a big adjustment. What does that
it's
look like?
because it's never been a team sport. So
And I've said this from the beginning. There's some great things that could come of the team sports, and I think those things are guaranteed money, you know, and hopefully as we go, like these teams will take care of the riders like the
yeah.
PBR should have done before teams. And with the PBR not owning these teams, they did it last year with making sure that everybody, even on a practice guide, got paid. Um, so is the PBR going to start addressing some of these issues? And they may. Now that they don't have to pay the money out,
So what's a practice roster guy? What's he make?
I think it's $800 or $1,000 a week guaranteed.
So it's just a show up check, like
Yeah, it's a show up check, but you don't even have to be there. Like a practice squad guy doesn't have to show up to get his check. So this is what happened. The first year, the PBR owns two teams, okay? There's no required practice squad pay. So there was a lot of guys on the practice squad that weren't getting paid. They got paid if they got bumped up to the regular, but they didn't get paid just being practice squad going places. Well, after the first year, the PBR sold both of their teams. So the PBR now doesn't own any team, and then they required all the teams, if you were to have practice squad guys, you had to pay them weekly. So I think that's ironic that the second the PBR doesn't have to pay the money out, they require everybody to.
well, yeah. Well, they learn from their bad mistakes. That's what good business owners do is they learn from bad mistakes. So
But here's the kicker. So this is the funny part. They make this rule. So you think, oh, more guys are gonna get paid. That's just awesome. Everybody thought this going into the year. Come to find out, the teams, they're like, well, why would we even have guys on our practice squad? So unless it was just a specific person, they're like, okay, if we don't put this guy on our practice squad, he will go to another team. They just didn't sign practice squad guys, didn't have to pay the money out. So you had teams that didn't even have full practice squad guys this past year.
And that's
So,
that.
but look, there's something happening where there's a back and forth. If it continues to progress the right direction, then it will benefit the riders if they can, hold on to that. But
But you team aspect of it, like I think you should have a full roster. Like
they have a full roster enough to go and compete. Like
yeah,
they didn't, but some of them didn't have very many practice squad guys. Yeah,
like I don't know. That's like to me,
I
that's like
agree.
like three guys on a team against a bunch of little kids. Like like
There,
is that really
there's
want to
one
do?
team. I think Cord McCoy's team had a full. I think their team had a full practice squad. It was like 13 or 14 guys on the.
See, and that's like, but like if I don't know how many guys go to on a team event. How many are guaranteed?
All I know is that I went to the combines. I won the combine championship, and I didn't even get picked up on a practice squad team, and they had open spots. How bad does the team not want you on their team when they're like, "Hey, we got a free opening here. We got an
That
opening on our practice squad, but let's just leave it. Let's not even pick anybody up. It can."
they me either. I would have been like homeless out there, like, please pick me. But yeah, no, they wouldn't have picked me either. So I don't yeah, don't feel too bad.
There's a lot. What's interesting is like to their director of marketing. I think it's marketing. I don't know, director of the teams. I'm not sure what his title is, but he's over all the team stuff. And he was talking about like trying to go into the direction of having minor leagues. So instead of velocities, you have minor league teams. So like you'd have the Memphis team or, the Wichita, So they take those velocities cities and stuff and make. How many guys do you think that are out there? That's my question.
Oh, with this team thing, like everything too, I don't know how many guys are out there. I think it should be like a regular thing. I think you should have to pack up and move to that and
If they go to New York,
support your city. Like
yeah, I agree.
living in Texas and be home
Hey,
of
they could do it if they would pay guys. There'd be no
yeah,
way they could do it right now.
yeah, no. Like if you're gonna do it, do it. Make them do everything. Like it's just crazy to me. I don't know.
Well, they wanna do all of it, but they don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
they're squeaking by and getting everything ready. So I don't know. It's crazy. It's so freaking crazy. I don't know. I've got to start watching some so I can be a better podcast mate on this because
I Hey, we'll do another one. You watch it, and then we'll fall
yeah.
back around.
Is it like the team series now
No,
or
it's
how's
regular season now. So now the regular season through May. And you can watch it on Pluto too. So the velocities. Watch the velocities too.
okay? So from like when's it November to May?
So it's okay. It's November to May. The the UTV starts in November. The velocity doesn't start until this coming weekend.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. They give, I guess there's torn pros in Fort Worth. That's about it.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
So they
Like
do
right, we would be like Oakland was like around the corner like every year.
it
Like
would be the same. Yeah, it's the same as what it was when you were going because it was the first weekend of January. But generally, the UTB season was on break, and they've changed that. There's no break. They literally go from the team series into the UTB season. There may be 1 week break, 2 week. That's it
you're getting on bulls
all year.
48 weekends out of the year.
Yeah, yeah. If you're doing both, yeah,
That's
yeah. It's intriguing. I mean, some of the guys are doing it anyway. They would do it regardless, but It is a lot.
I mean, yeah, because I mean we was going about that much too, but I don't know. I can't. I wouldn't be able to do it now. Like that's for sure. I like to be home.
Man, I could only imagine after taking 4 years off what it would be like taking you down the road.
That would be terrible, honestly. Like I probably fall asleep the first hour in the car.
Be like Dakota. Dakota's like, hey, I'll drive, but you're gonna have to ask me.
Oh gosh,
Well,
yeah. No,
people don't realize how much traveling we do. We put on, me and Keith calculated it from January to May last year. We drove 50,000 miles.
I believe that.
It's a lot. I always, and people always say, rodeo, you travel more. I don't think so. You travel just as much.
Yeah.
You just,
Uh,
you're gone more.
yeah,
Rodeo, you're gone more because
yeah.
you may have a run where you're hitting a run Monday through Thursday that the farthest you're apart from one another could be, I don't know, 7 hours. Or you're Cole Fisher and you decide that you're gonna, not sleep ever. Just drive across the country and get on.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to do that either. Uh, but yeah, no, that's so much traveling. Like, how many hours did we spend in a vehicle just driving there to
Well,
get on?
that
And then,
trip that trip that you won, we started off in, did we start off in Wichita? Where did we start? I know we went to California. You took, so you took first in California. Was it Bakersfield or
uh,
Ontario?
it was Oakland.
Oakland. So you won Oakland. We went to Oakland. You won Oakland. Then we drove to Pueblo. I took second at Pueblo. I fell off at Denver. Did you ride at Denver? I know.
Yeah. Uh,
And then we went up
I
to Portland, Oregon. I won Portland. That was the last one.
did the short round that year in Denver, but yeah, and then we went to Portland. We went
Yeah, we
and
did all of it. And then we
uh,
had to put tire chains on
yeah,
through the blizzard.
yeah. Oh shoot, that was man. We drove a lot that trip.
That was a wild trip, just how long it was. We were gone for 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was about 3 weeks, and then I don't know. I was always gone during the summer too. Uh,
What did
on
you
the
do? What did you do in the summertime? Did you go to
Burgers,
Pros or close to your house?
I just went to Burgers events.
Oh,
Oh,
Chad's
yeah,
man,
those
he's done good events for a long time.
those events are awesome. He takes really good care of the guys. So heck yeah, I was always going up there.
Man, what's that process like when you retired to not being? How long did it take before you didn't have an itch to leave, or did you never? Did you get your fill of traveling completely?
Oh
Right.
yeah, no. So over traveling, like I got to where at the end of it, especially with the bull team deal and not making money and riding the bulls and everything, like I was so over that, like I didn't want to leave the house, like to drive to the next event. Like I was just like, I don't even want to go. So I don't know. That's where it really all started
Hey,
is
hey, if I ever get that point, I'll be done too.
oh I was that 2019 did it for me. Like it was so bad. Those bull team events killed it for me. I was like, don't even want to go to it. Like, don't know why I'm going to it. Like, it got bad because like I started drinking a lot before I got on and everything just to make it more
Man.
interesting.
Yeah,
And,
I bet.
like, and I was still riding my bulls.
It's probably not a good direction to go to. Man, it just doesn't get me excited. So I need to find something that's going to make this more dangerous and more exciting.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, I was still riding my bulls and still not making the short round. So I was like, well, I gotta try something else. Oh, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, we do travel a lot.
Yeah.
I've been I've been everywhere. You've been everywhere, probably in inland at least.
Yep. Yeah. I've been 48 states.
Yep, same. Yeah, I
Yep.
want to go. I want to go to Hawaii or Alaska and ride. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I don't want to go to Alaska. I don't like the cold. I did go to Australia in 2019. PBR paid for that.
Nice.
Uh, that was my last PBR event was Australia.
Really, Australia. I'd like to go to Australia and ride.
Yeah,
I've
it was
never,
it was
never.
awesome.
I've heard a
Yeah.
lot of good things.
Yeah, no, it just popped up on my time hop actually, because we went right after the Velocity finals, and yeah, it popped up on my time hop the other day. All my times there and everything.
Okay,
Rode a rode a Bang Tang.
bang tank.
It's like their water buffalo looking things,
Oh, no joke.
like they're wild.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah, no, they're weird. They're built almost like Mexican fighting bulls.
Oh,
Like
okay.
they're
Yeah, yeah.
freaking all the way. And I don't know. I got on one my first event there, and they're weird. A bull bucked off Jess Lockwood when they had the World Cup over there. They're so weird, and I don't know. A lot of people don't like getting on them, but I made it a point. I actually got on one at a practice pen just because I wanted to go over there and I wanted to ride one.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
I got one on the practice pen and I freaking stuck him. So I was pretty
That's
excited.
cool. Yeah, that's cool. I went to Saudi Arabia. That's the only place I rode outside of. Yes.
Y'all, I'll tell you again, man. Y'all was so brave for that because I thought y'all was going over there to get beheaded. Like,
It was sketchy at times, but I don't know that it was. I mean, the sketchiest part was like we were as close to it's Syria. Like we were close to Riyadh, but we were actually, yeah. What's the country right there that Iran that borders Saudi Arabia? Do you even know?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up right now. But we were really close to like terrorist country. And Dave Rice did not tell, I probably shouldn't have said Dave's name, but oh well. Anybody that looked it up knows. They did not tell the freaking US that we were going over there. So it was like a big deal when we went over there and it like, I don't know, the embassy or whatever got flagged for like 30 Americans going over to Saudi Arabia. Which it's not like, look, we're allies and stuff, but still, you can't just get, at that time anyway, I don't think you can now, but you couldn't just get a ticket to go over to Saudi. Like we had to have work visas and we had to go through the process.
Yeah, I
The
was
US
probably
obviously is going to know. So like they put it on like
like, oh, they're doing something. They're doing something. They're making a move.
they're making Iraq. I think that's what it is. So we were really close to Iraq.
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm glad y'all did it, but I don't know.
It was a cool
I
experience.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. I didn't want to be away from home either, and I definitely didn't want to be in the desert. Like if I'm going somewhere, like I'll go to Australia again. Like because
Well,
that's awesome.
so when we went, we were under the assumption that we were going to be in first class, that this was going to be like they were going to build, and they did build like a city there, but it was going to be like high end, Riyadh, like everything. We got dumped in the desert. We stayed in like these little trailer things. It was we lived in the desert. We were not in Riyadh. We went a couple times. Like it was we were in the desert enough where those guys they would go and they would pee out in the desert, right? And then they would squat down and grab a bunch of dirt and just throw it up in their junk. And that's what they would do and go pee out in the desert.
Oh
Nuts.
gosh,
It was a
yeah,
different culture, I'll tell you that.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
good.
But really cool people over there. They had a festival. So they had a festival over there. So there were tons of different countries, all these Stanian countries and stuff. So it was kind of cool to get it like go and talk to people from different countries. There was actually Canada. There were a few people from Canada we hung out with over there.
Heck yeah, no, that's pretty awesome. It just you did. It wasn't me.
Hey, remember when we signed up to go to China?
Oh
And
yes,
that would have been something. We probably would have died though, because was it gang violence? Is that why they ended up not doing it?
yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. I did. Yeah, we signed up for that. I'm so glad that didn't go through. Like, gosh.
If there's a place to go, I don't know that it's China. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I'm really glad that they didn't do that or whatever, but crazy. I don't know. I would do a lot of countries, but not
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 that
that one.
one.
Signed up for it.
Yeah,
Like I
says the
said,
guy that signed up for it. Yeah.
that's probably not a good idea. Oh gosh.
I know that when we went to, is it Newark, New Jersey? Is that right? I believe it's Newark, New Jersey. Really
Yeah.
dangerous. They sent a letter out there when we went there because they had the UTB there last year.
Yes.
They sent a letter out saying, be very careful when you walk to the stadium. Do not leave your hotel. Like, very violent place. And you're wearing cowboy hats.
Yeah, you have a target on your head, pretty much. Like,
We say that, but it also draws a lot of attention to you as well.
yeah, it does. And I don't know. I don't think a lot of people like the violent people would try and do that just because it would make more of a spectacle. Like it would probably drag too much attention to them. So,
Unless
but
you
like,
try to like fight with like a group of people. It wouldn't be the time to go like bar fighting. A few of our buddies tend to like to do that. That would not be the place to do it. Outside of that, you're probably okay.
I don't know. I think any place that the PBR really sent us was never a good place to do that, but it seemed like it always happened.
Honestly, Ben Jones was probably the safest and just fighting fans in the stadium.
Yes. Yeah.
And fellow contestants.
And
I
fellow,
miss Ben. I haven't seen Ben in so long.
I haven't either. I don't know. I've seen Mike Lee fight some guys in the locker room too.
I have not seen Mike do it.
Yeah.
I have seen Mike get ready about 6 hours earlier.
Well, he shows up ready.
He
So,
showed up. I remember, okay, you want to feel like an idiot? I'll never make fun of anybody ever again, okay, for getting ready earlier. I won't do it. Mike Lee was getting ready it was in Texas. It was at a Mike White Invitational. Zane Cook won it. This was back in the day. And
oh yeah, I was there at the
he,
event.
he was getting ready like 6 hours before. I showed up later. Isaac Tolliver came with me. I made fun of Mike. And then I forgot to pay my entry fees. And I'm going to put my bull rope on. And Sad Noel's like, what are you doing? I'm like, this is my bull. And he's like, no, some guy didn't show up and it's my bull now. And I just like my heart just fell. Like it broke my heart. And it literally we're getting ready to go. Like I'm in the first section. I'm like the second guy out. Like I
Yeah.
had my chaps on. I was putting my rope on. Like we were and I went up to the announcer stand. I said, Sad said that I could have my bull back if I just pay my fees. And they're like, no, we can't do that. So, and then Mike ended up doing good. And I was just like, yeah, I'm an idiot. People need to make fun of me.
That bull run was like one of the like rankest bull runs I've been to still to this day because like I was Zane won it and I was 86 and 87 and tied with Dirt Eater for 5th and 6th.
Dang. It don't happen much anymore. I will say that. It just doesn't happen as much. You don't have like there's not too many events where guys are riding all their bulls. If it's a
Yeah.
1 day event, a long run, short runner, not very many. 2 day
Yeah.
even fewer. Except for the time so last year me and Casey, I won 2 rounds. I won both the long rounds. I bucked off my short rounder at like 6 seconds. Casey strapped his short rounder. I'm like, you sucker. We almost had the same amount of points, but he won. We we won because I got so many round points and round money that like
Yeah.
I think he won like $800 more than me for winning the event.
Oh gosh.
And then the event I did win with the last Cowboy standing. And I told Kelly at that point in the year, like I was riding, I'm like, all I wanted is a new pair of tires. And I won that event and it wasn't a velocity. And I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me.
The last guy was standing?
No, the not last Cowboy standing, the championship for
Oh,
the combine championship.
yeah.
Yeah, they give out tires. They give out tires. That's nice.
They give out tires now?
If you win a velocity, you get 4 tires from Cooper Tires. Yep. Every event winner. I
They
know.
definitely done that.
I was banking on grinding this year and winning about 4 of them sets.
Yeah. No. That See, that's good stuff that they should do. Like they should have been doing that from the beginning.
Yeah, they really should have. Yeah, they really didn't give out. I remember one year they gave out they didn't even give out a buckle to the winner. All it was a plaque.
See, I could do plaques, and I don't
Oh
want a
no.
buck
For
ever.
like, I don't know. I mean, a buckle's cool, like with a plaque. Like it's a professional bull ride, and you could give out a buckle and a plaque. That would be too big of an issue.
The money, like they could spend it on there, but I don't know. I like unique things too. Like when I finally won a rifle, that's still cool. I freaking
And I want to win. I'd made it a point when I was coming back from injuries. I hadn't won a saddle, and I was like, I'm going to win a saddle. So I went and then I went to the amateur deals. I won like 3 custom saddles, and so now I'm just like, now I need a pistol or a gun. I've never won a rifle, never won a pistol. Like I do want to win some cool stuff.
I see. I didn't go to like I never went to association stuff because when I was younger, like I just went straight like to whatever had the most money is what I did. Looking back, I probably should have done some association stuff to get like stuff like that because I never won anything like that.
Yeah.
Like I won a really big rock, like cool engraved rock, but that's about it. Other than like won like some trophies and stuff like that. But I never got like a saddle or like year end stuff like that. But I don't know. Finally got that right.
Last 2 years I changed that because before I did the same thing. I did what I found was even if you just buy your finals, go to one amateur deal, buy your card, go to whatever their minimum is, and then just go to their finals, you can win. I went to so that MRCA the first year I won it, I went to 5 deals. I went to 5 of their deals, and then I won 2 saddles and a bunch of money.
The rookie of the year end.
Yeah, I went to their finals and I rode all my bulls and won like $5,600 at finals
Yeah,
and
that's
a
crazy.
saddle. So, but I haven't seen too many giving out pistols at their finals. They're probably out there, but
You got
you just
well,
got
are you gonna do the Lucas Oil and stuff?
they don't. So Lucas Oil, they still put on that bull ride, I believe, but I don't think it's by Lucas Oil anymore. I don't know. I know Ernie's not part of all of that. And
Yeah.
the last time they'd done it, Luke or I don't know. Last time I was talking to Luke Bradley, he said that they don't do the pistols anymore. I don't even know if it pays out as much anymore. They just spread it out so much. Like it's $10,000 spread out, a lot of ways.
Yeah. Because I don't know, even when I rode Salty Dog there, like I don't even remember how much money I won out
I
of that.
like $1,100 because it was my first one coming back, and I was like, man, it's like after you've been out so long, and then real life, like in just money and stuff, and then coming back from injury, and then I won 1,100, and I remember sitting down afterwards and telling Keith, I'm like, man, you have no idea what this does. Like $1,000, I just won $1,000 for driving 30 minutes, because at that time I was close to it,
Yeah.
like blowing my mind. And it's crazy to think like how much money like you do. Like I think I've won 15,000 in a week. Like that's a lot of money like that you can win real
Yeah.
quick.
Oh man. Yeah, that's I don't know. You could win a lot of money doing it. It's just
You pay for it physically.
yep. Yep. Until they start doing the team deals and then you don't make any money.
And I wish they were more transparent. That's all. That's all. I just wish they were more transparent. They were
Yeah.
transparent about like all of it. Just not very many sports. Baseball, you can find out everything you need to about contracts
Yeah.
and I know I guess there is this point. So I know Dana White. So when he talks about it, he's like, look, you can ask the UFC fighters how much they make. That's up to them if they want to tell you or not, but they can tell you. So I'm sure it's the same way. Like, you know, what the riders are making, whether they're actually gonna. Some of it, I don't know. Some of it can be. It's a weird. It's a weird thing because some of it's a pride deal. I think the PBR doesn't really want people knowing, fans and stuff.
They make
Yeah.
like how company makes or how much the riders make.
Oh, riders. Yeah, the company doesn't need to say what they make, but the
Uh,
ride, how like what their contracts are.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know,
I would.
I know a few of them, but I don't. It'd be interesting maybe to have a guy on there actually talk about it.
Yeah, no, that would be.
Everybody's making, but I'm not going to just tell people
Yeah.
like
Oh,
what specific. Like, hey, yeah, like Cody Rodeo Tyler this is his contract. I'm going to tell you right now.
he makes 37 cents
Yeah.
an hour.
What, you guys are making money?
Right?
I feel like that meme. We need to make that meme for the team stuff.
8?
Oh,
Uh,
he only paid me. Lemay's like, he only paid me $300,000. Zeke's like, wait, you're getting paid?
oh God.
But
Oh man. Oh, another thing I started doing, I am an assistant wrestling coach
oh,
for
nice.
people over here. Yeah.
That's cool. So did you wrestle in high school and everything?
Yeah, I wrestled like from I started wrestling at like 6. So then I did it through my sophomore year.
Are you in shape?
Me?
Yeah. No.
No.
You're gonna be a wrestling coach and
I'm
are you-
st I'm in better shape than them,
okay.
but
Well, how
uh,
old are they?
they're high school.
Okay. All right. That's good then.
But I don't know. I've always been in shape-ish. So
Did you stop? Did you I guess it's been so long. Did you do much like training and like how much has that changed? Like working out, like post writing. Like I don't even know what it would be like. I asked this, know that this is what this is coming from. My diet, my workout, everything I do with my body is towards bull riding. So like
yeah.
what's that like living where the purpose behind your fitness is not tied to
I completely I did a complete 180. Like it went from pretty strict to I could have a dad bod right now and I wouldn't care. Like wiggle.
I when I'm done riding, I'm gonna freaking lift heavy and eat whatever I want.
I'm gonna get ripped.
I mean, as much as my body can, because I will say that they're like when it comes to like just lifting for enjoyment and stuff, like there's a lot of stuff I can't do anymore because of my surgery. I have
Yeah.
to, even in my training and stuff now, like there's so much muscle groups and stuff that I have to do different workouts to, make sure they're low impact on my joints and stuff like that.
Yeah. So like you have to like I don't know, like you can't jump rope probably or
I can jump rope. I can't squat. Good example. I can't put the squat bar. I can't put it behind my back. My shoulders do not have enough range to go back because of the anatomy. My shoulders changed. So they took. Can I do push-ups? Yeah, I can do push-ups.
Oh, I just don't know if that would like affect it or whatever.
No, it's really just like the range external. So going back, I don't have much range in. I don't know with my ankle, there's still a lot of like agility stuff I can't do right now. And I don't know if I'll regain that with kind of, just regaining strength in it, but that's another one. I still, though, to this day, like I'm having surgery tomorrow. When I get done with this talking to you on this podcast, I'm going to the gym. I'll go to the gym for probably 3 hours today. I
Yeah.
will lift weights with my arm that I'm having surgery on tomorrow. But I can do curls. So again, this is what's weird. People get hurt and then they just stop working out. And it drives me back crazy, Tyler.
Why?
Because like there's so many body parts that you can use even when you're injured. So like my shoulder, my rotator cuff's tore, my labrum's torn, my bicep tendon's torn on the top side, but not So I still have full function over my bicep, my tricep, and I have a little bit of going internal. So like if you're taking your arm and going internal, I can do bands internal. I just can't do external. So there's so much stuff that like you could be doing to make yourself better. And instead you just sit at home. Even guys riding, like think of how many times you got home off the weekend. Okay. It's Monday and you're whipped and you're beat up. Like, are you doing anything or are you gonna do what you can do?
I'm gonna get on the couch and open my bag of Doritos and eat those.
Rodeo is not rodeoing anymore. So that's the difference here. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I, yeah, anymore. Back in the day, like, I don't know, I always had stuff to do. Like, but now it's like, yeah, nope.
How big were you into training though when you were riding?
I worked out quite a bit.
Worked out quite a bit.
Mhm.
Some guys don't. Um, that's gonna change with the team stuff. Out of everything,
They're gonna make them really work out and try and be better, right?
I would imagine.
I would hope so,
Okay.
but
Probably. Yeah, probably. Look, if the Bulls are going to continue to get better, and I don't think anybody in their right mind would say, nah, the Bulls are getting worse. So if the Bulls are going to continue to get better, I think, athletes probably should.
yeah,
I don't even know how much. I'm sure it impacts overall performance, but I bet it impacts longevity more than overall performance,
yeah,
fitness. I wouldn't be able to. I've had 9 surgeries, rather major, in 4 shoulder surgeries is quite a bit, and those are major ones. And I still feel very confident that I can recover and will be able to compete at the same level, if not,
yeah,
But like if I wasn't able to maintain, my overall fitness, I don't know that I would be able to.
yeah. No, that's true. It's
Especially
just,
if you get older. It's 21 saying, look, my body does not, it's changed. My training has changed. When I was 21 years old, I was talking to my dad about this. When I was 21, I was doing insanity in the mornings. And then I would go and work construction and I would go and do like powerlifting in the evenings. And then I would stretch and like all day long I was working out. And I did jack squat for like recovery. Like my focus at that point was like how freaking strong and fast you can be. you know? And now at 29, like I can't even do some of the stuff I did physically then. So it's like,
yeah,
but you can still compete in bull riding. It's just an interesting sport. So like, as you get older, like how do you change your training to
oh man, yeah. That's a, I wouldn't even know where to start. I haven't stretched in, oh, I stretched since I started this wrestling thing, but before then, I ain't picked up a weight or nothing really. So other than driving a few T posts and building fence, like that's about the only workout I get anymore.
Are you? Yeah. How many cows are you over?
Oh, not very many. I had this guy that I've been taking care of for. He's only got like 20 head now. I sold a bunch of them. Uh, really been trying to straighten up his herd. He was pretty spread out. So
Hey, that building, doing fence work, that's a workout in and of itself.
yep, yep. Especially
Oh,
when it's just
yeah. Yeah, no joke. The question is going to be who stays in better shape after they're done, you or Zane Cook?
that's
What
gonna be
what what happens to Zane when he's done riding bulls? Is my question.
because I don't know if Zane works out at
I don't
all.
know
So
that he does. I don't know that he does.
he's
He's
always like fit.
yeah, he's fit, so I imagine I'm sure he does. But
I think
I
he got
don't
his genetics in that, and I think he's just gonna stay fit. So like, I don't
okay.
know. Probably gonna he's gonna win that over me. I think like
Who's gonna blow up? Who's gonna be the Adriano? Who's gonna blow up? Keith? You think it's gonna be Keith?
the funniest one. Uh,
10 years from now, Keith is bald and got his, dad bod going on.
Yeah, looking like Cleveland. Yeah, awesome.
Man, yeah, because Keith works out, but I don't know. I don't see Keith as being a guy that works out just to. I think Keith is working out just for bull riding, and there's no enjoyment within it.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I used to like to work out. It just I can't do it now I can. I just don't choose to with kid and all this other stuff I do.
Yeah, what's the dad life like?
Oh, I love it.
I
Yeah.
think that probably changed a lot. Look at like as far as your transition out of bull riding, like having kids. I could see like for me, like it's a weird thing. Like I hate leaving. I
Yeah.
do not like the worst part is leaving. Once I get on the road, especially if you're with your buddies, then it's kind of makes that
Yeah.
transition a bit easier.
But yeah, no, I couldn't imagine like leaving him now and going to a bull riding or anything. I don't know. It's awesome. Maverick's awesome. He's about to he'll turn 2 in February, so
Do you think he'll ride or
uh I'm I'm hoping not. Like
hope or not? Okay.
yeah. uh like it's been rodeo was awesome for me. It was a great lifestyle, but like looking back, like I don't know. I'll buy him a set of golf clubs before I buy him a bull rope, that's for sure.
That's funny. I'm in the same boat. My kids will be cowboy. That's
Yeah.
they'll know how to train a horse. They'll be good horsemen. Say
Yeah.
cowboy. They'll be good horsemen.
Yeah.
Uh, you know,
Yeah.
if my son wants to ride bulls, like I'm not gonna stop him, but I'm certainly my son will understand, like fully what to expect. I look, I love this sport, and I've been willing to and continue willing to give my life for this sport, but you need to be ready to do that. Like we've lost friends doing this. Like it's not. So I think out of everything, like that's a real thing too. Like
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of kids. I don't know. It's a weird thing because it's not like a normal sport, but I feel like we could prepare the youth a little bit more for the reality of what they're going to face too. That's
Yeah.
hard though, because you can't really, explain that to a child. Like you have to be careful because you're
Yeah.
not trying to scare children. There just has to come a point where it's like, look, what you're about to step into, because it's not so much calves and steers, but what you're about to step into is very extreme.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's hard for me because like I don't know, I've always had a decent head on my shoulders, I guess. On like when I was like bull riding at first, like I was real serious about it. So like I don't know, it would be hard for me to let Maverick ride. And then when not knowing what he's gonna do in the future, because I've seen those guys, we have those friends that are just they have one thing on their mind and it's definitely not bull riding most of the time or their extracurricular activities.
I will say this, that's changed. Okay, so the whole atmosphere, like even PBR, going PBRs, I feel like the atmosphere's changed. It's not
Really?
the idea from the locker room. I do, some of that could be I've changed, and like me and Keith and Dakota and like we've changed a lot. So it could be more than just a group that you're around. But I think overall we're starting to move towards, this becoming more of a say more of a sport. It's always been a sport, but people are taking it more seriously.
Other than just being not heads.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think the team stuff is going to force that hand too, because how many of these teams look, and it's another thing that's interesting. Okay, so like you were saying right now, riders are not living in those cities, right?
Yeah.
So, but at some point, like if you get to where there's actually attachment to that city, there's a brand. Well, now these teams are going to be they're going to start to become more, cautious about like these guys' lifestyles outside of the arena. Because up to this point, bull riders were accountable to themselves, and their actions didn't impact the PBR or there's no team. Like it just impacted you.
Yeah, no, and yeah, it'd be hard. That's I don't know how they would. Yeah, I don't know. It's so crazy to think about on that team thing. Like, there's so many ways it could go.
Yeah, and nobody knows either.
Yep.
I don't even know how much they know, but
It's working for them now, so that's about all they know.
well, it's been awesome having you on here. We'll definitely watch it. Let's do this again sometime. Maybe we can get to
Stuff.
some equipment stuff.
Yeah.
I've been having a few questions on equipment, so
Yeah.
I maybe go through.
Yeah.
So everybody's so different when it comes to equipment.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just, I don't know. The only thing I really liked is I wanted my rope how I wanted it, and I mean that's really about it. I didn't need anything else. I wasn't really picky on anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That's I've gotten to the point where I know what I like and I'll get the same thing every time. But early on I messed with a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, no. Heck, I could have used anything else, but yeah, no, I like my bull ropes, so I liked them. And that's about the only thing I really was picky on. I could ride in tennis shoes for all I cared.
You probably could have too. You really
uh
you
practice
you didn't move a lot.
no practice pins. That's mainly what I did was tennis shoes.
Oh, really? So you actually incorporated that into your training quite a bit.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah. It was fun getting on in tennis shoes.
I've done it once at a practice pen, but not something I never really had a huge issue with losing my feet. So
Oh, me just kept me moving.
yeah,
Just
first bull
move.
I ever spurred was with my tennis shoes on. I guess
Really.
spur him. I kicked him.
Oh gosh, that's awesome.
Just to get my feet moving. And then it's like you really it was re-grabbing and then it just turned into the timing of it.
Yeah.
All right. Heck yeah. Nice having you on here, Rodeo.
I'll be talking to you soon. I'll be watching that. We'll get back on this.
Yeah, no, for sure. I haven't watched a ton of it because I don't have CBS. So
Yeah.
just have like anymore, I just use apps. So like all Disney Plus and stuff like that. If they put PB on Disney Plus, then I'd watch it all the time. You know what they should do before we go? They should do this. So Disney Plus, I believe it's Disney Plus, did a thing. It was a football game, okay? And it was a live football game, but it was animated. So it was two teams that were playing live, but Disney Plus just animated it. Or Disney did. I think it was Disney that animated it. So it was like little, animated
Tune.
figures. Yeah. They should do that with bull riding, like a live bull riding where they take the bull riding and they just make it animated too, to where kids can watch it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
That'd be funny.
then I could, watch it more with the kids.
Yeah, keep them entertained more. Yeah. Oh
All right,
goodness,
man.
yeah. All right. Well, I'll see ya.
I'll see you.